What if most of the confusion, frustration, and pain you have experienced with people had a very simple explanation, and nobody ever gave it to you? Not because it was hidden, but because most people never slow down long enough to see it. There is a way of understanding people that makes life genuinely simpler. Not easier in the sense that people become less complicated, but simpler in the sense that you stop being caught off guard. You stop carrying things that were never yours. You stop losing sleep over behavior that was never actually about you. This video is about getting there. Watch until the end, because once this lands, it does not leave you. Let's get into it. Number 1. You cannot change anyone who does not believe they need to change. This is one of those things that sounds obvious until you realize how much energy you have spent trying to do exactly that, explaining, convincing, hoping that if you just find the right words, the right moment, the right approach, they will finally see it. You have had the same conversation in 10 different ways. You have been patient when patience ran out. You have shown up for someone who was not showing up for themselves, and still nothing moved. Not because you didn't try hard enough, but because trying was never the part that was missing. Change requires a person to first believe that something in them needs to shift, and no amount of love, patience, or effort from the outside can create that belief on the inside. That has to come from within them. And the moment you truly accept this, not just intellectually, but deeply, you stop exhausting yourself trying to fix what was never yours to fix. You stop taking it personally when someone stays the same. You stop measuring your worth by whether or not you are able to move them. Number 2. Everyone is dealing with something you cannot see. The person who was short with you, the friend who went quiet without explanation, the colleague who seemed cold for no reason. Almost always there is something underneath that has nothing to do with you. A conversation they just had, something they are carrying that they haven't told anyone, a version of themselves they are struggling with privately while showing the world a composed exterior. This doesn't mean accepting poor treatment. It means before you decide what something means, before you make someone's behavior about you, consider that you are only ever seeing the surface of another person's life. Most people are managing far more than they show, and the ones who seem the most together are often the ones working the hardest to appear that way. Understanding this doesn't just make you more compassionate toward others, it makes you more accurate, because a lot of what feels personal isn't, and knowing the difference saves you from carrying pain that was never yours to carry. Number 3. Most conflict is never really about what it appears to be about. The argument about the small thing is almost never about the small thing. It is often about something older, something unresolved, something neither person has found the words for yet. The dishes are rarely really about the dishes. The silence is rarely really about being tired. Once you understand that surface conflict is often just the visible tip of something much deeper, you stop getting pulled into arguments that were never actually about what they claim to be about. Instead of defending your position in the argument that is happening, you start asking what the argument is really about. Instead of responding to the surface, you start looking for the root. And sometimes the root is something so simple, a fear of being unheard, a need for reassurance, an old wound that got accidentally touched, and the whole conflict dissolves the moment it is named. Not every disagreement needs to be won. Some of them just need to be understood, and understanding them starts with knowing that what is being said is almost never the whole story. Number 4. Most people are not thinking about you as much as you think they are, not because you don't matter, but because everyone is consumed by their own internal world, their own worries, their own replays, their own version of the story they are living. The comment that stayed with you for days was probably forgotten by them within the hour. The moment you were certain everyone noticed, most people had already moved on. The decision you agonized over because of what others might think, most of them never thought about it at all. Once this lands, you start making decisions based on what you actually want, rather than an audience that was never paying as much attention as you thought. Number 5. People's reactions to your growth tell you everything about their intentions. When you change for the better, when you set a boundary, level up, or simply stop being who you used to be, watch who celebrates it and who becomes uncomfortable. Because the people who genuinely care about you will be happy when you grow, even if that growth inconveniences them, even if it means you need them less, even if it changes the dynamic between you. They will still want it for you. The people who needed you small will reveal themselves the moment you stop being that. They will push back on the boundary. They will question the change. They will find subtle ways to pull you back toward the version of you that was easier for them to be around. You don't need to test anyone. You don't need to look for these reactions. Just grow. Just become more of who you actually are. And what comes up in those moments will show you clearly who is genuinely there for you and who never really was. Number 6, people need to feel safe before they show you who they really are. Most people are not hiding themselves on purpose. They are protecting themselves until they know it is safe not to. And safety is not something that is decided in a moment. It is something that is built slowly through consistent behavior over time. The person who seems closed off is not necessarily cold. The person who takes a long time to open up is not necessarily distant. They are simply waiting for evidence that being seen will not cost them something. Instead of taking it personally, understand that their walls were built long before you arrived. Their caution is not a comment on you. It is a response to something that happened before you. The most powerful thing you can offer is not pressure to open up faster. It is the kind of consistent, steady presence that slowly makes the walls unnecessary. Some of the deepest people you will ever know are the ones who took the longest to let you in, and they were worth every moment of patience it took to get there. Number 7, how people treat you is almost always a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Cruelty often comes from pain. Dismissiveness often comes from insecurity. Generosity often comes from a person who feels like they have enough to give. Warmth often comes from someone who has been shown warmth. People tend to pour outward what they carry inward. And once you understand that, once you stop taking behavior personally and start reading it more accurately, you see that much of what people direct at you is not actually about you at all. The person who constantly criticizes is often their own harshest judge. The person who controls everything is often the most afraid of uncertainty. The person who pushes people away is often the most terrified of being left. This is not an excuse for any of it. Painful behavior is still painful regardless of where it comes from. But there is a profound difference between feeling hurt by someone and feeling hurt by someone while also understanding why they are the way they are. One leaves you stuck. The other sets you free. Understanding people does not mean losing faith in them. It means you stop being confused by them. You stop being caught off guard. You stop carrying things that were never yours. And you start seeing that much of what happens between people makes complete sense once you know where to look. That clarity changes everything, not just how you see others, but how you move through the world, how you choose who to keep close, how you respond to things that used to shake you. And slowly, without you even fully noticing, life gets lighter, because you finally understand what you were always looking at. If you found this helpful, like the video and subscribe to LifeBased for more insights about the patterns shaping your life and relationships. Thanks for watching.